Let's give a round of Rob Gonzalez.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So to me, this is a great honor to be among so many people that I admire, right? And something about Congressman Gimenez, he was one of the first people that reached out to me when I became a county commissioner. And he gave me so much good advice. And to me, it's just insane to be on a flyer with one of my heroes. So can we give him a round of applause? So folks, I have the great honor of representing District 11 for the Miami-Dade County Commission. Let me tell you why that's an honor for me. It's an honor for me because I grew up in Miami-Dade County, right? I was not lucky enough to go to a great school like Columbus. I didn't go to Belen. I went to a great school called Coral Park. And Columbus took all of our football players. But the reason I bring that up, folks, is because I'm not supposed to be here. Okay? My mom cleaned houses her entire life. My dad worked in a warehouse. He worked 3 jobs to try to give me a better life in the greatest country that God has ever created. It's because I had great parents, and because of the great family values that they instilled in me, and because of many great mentors that believed in me, that I am able to serve and give back to the community. Now, serving is very important because, folks, elections have consequences. But more than that, not being involved has consequences. People think we live in a democracy. Folks, this is not a democracy. And if you ask the congressman, he can give you a whole dissertation on the actual fact. But we live in a constitutional republic. A constitutional republic is very unique because it does not work if people do not get involved. You see, the beautiful thing about this country is that when people get involved and they voice their opinions and they work with their elected officials, they are able to make the environment that they want for their family, the environment that we are enjoying in the great state of Florida with the great governor that we have, the great lieutenant governor that we have, the great congressmen that we have, the great senators that we have. We get to enjoy the freedoms that folks in California and in other states perhaps don't get to enjoy. But that happens when people get involved. So the reason that I got involved in politics was because in 2020 there was an election. And I wasn't very happy with what happened in that election. We don't have to get into it, right? But you can ask my wife. I'm not an emotional person, right? But I cried after that election. Because I felt certain things, and you can feel other things, and you can go another route, and I respect that. But here's what I didn't do. I didn't get on Twitter and criticize people. I didn't get on Instagram and criticize people. Because that does absolutely nothing. What I did do is I started a group to try to educate folks, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, as to what your local government does. You know why? Because your local government affects you more than any other level of government. And folks, your mayor affects you way more in many aspects than the President of the United States does. And if we could just acknowledge one of the best mayors we've ever had in Miami-Dade County, your county commissioner affects you and your family way more, sometimes, than your president does. So if you don't communicate with your county commissioners, with your councilmen, with your city mayors, with your county mayors, if you don't voice your opinion, how many folks attend county commission meetings? Can you raise your hands? Jimmy, do you show up? Folks, since I got into this position, you know what I did? I got on Instagram. You know why I got on Instagram? Because the secret to the future is actually reaching the youth and getting the youth involved. And one thing I can tell you is that there are many young people all across Miami-Dade County that want to get involved. They want to get involved because they want to see a better future, because they grew up in an America that is different now. But nobody tries to reach it. You want to know why I wear sneakers? Let me tell you why I wear sneakers. The reason I wear sneakers is because when I was growing up, I didn't know one person that owned a pair of Ferragamos. I didn't know one person that had wingtips. I own wingtips, by the way. I'm an attorney. Right? When I go to court, I own wingtips. But I didn't know one person. But I really admired Michael Jordan. And I really admired great basketball players. But to me, it wouldn't be possible to become a county commissioner. To me, I didn't think it was possible to become an attorney with my own law firm, 6 attorneys, 8 paralegals. I didn't think those things were possible because I didn't know people that did that. So the reason I wear sneakers is because when I go to schools and young kids see me wear Jordans, hey man, if that guy can do it, I can do it. Yesterday I was at Mass Academy, talking to some folks, talking to some young kids that are putting forward policy to help Miami-Dade County with our animal shelters. They told me they follow me on Instagram, and I found that I was honored. And I told them to get involved. They told me they're going to come to the next county commission meeting. Folks, that is how you make positive change. That is how you impact your community. And unless you do those things, you're not going to see your government work for you. And you have nobody to blame but yourself. This country is beautiful because it gives you a voice. This country is beautiful because it puts the ball in your court. But if you don't get involved, if you don't show up, if you don't at least have those conversations, and if you don't elect people that are going to listen to you, then we're going to lose the greatest nation that God has ever created.
I'm gonna miss his height, so I'm okay. I didn't have Michael Jordans when I grew up. Let's give Rob a round of applause. I'm going to recognize the PBA is one of the sponsors of the event. Would like to speak? Okay, one more time. Let's give the PBA a round of applause. Next up, former fire. Where were you? Fire beginning? Fire. He's done everything. And I gotta tell you a story. I don't know if it's true, but it's a pretty good one. He was in high school. I'm gonna have to live it. You know, Brother Kevin ran the basketball program in Columbus. He was really strict. And I don't know what you did, but he said, Gimenez on the bench. Got late in the game. Late in the game, and Columbus started losing. Gimenez back in the court. Is that true? Brother Kevin doesn't do that. So he was a hell of a basketball player, and he's a hell of a congressman, and no question, one of the greatest mayors of Miami-Dade County. Carlos Gimenez, bring him on.
Thank you very much. I did not not score 7, he actually scored 69. But that story's kind of true. The real story was that the starting 5, somehow we all got into trouble. And so Brother Kevin decided to bench the starting 5, and I think it was against Southwest, against our brother, right, your brother. And then after one quarter, we were down by 20, and then, you know, he looked at us and, yeah, okay, we're still here. So he brought us all back, and then, yeah, we won the game. But it wasn't me, it was the entire starting 5. Joe was here, Joe Sands, he was here. Where's Joe?
Over here, right here.
Yeah, he was one of the 5, we were bench, remember that? Yeah. Well, what a great event, and you know, something that the commissioner, you know, said kind of struck me. I came here when I was 6 years old. I didn't speak the language at all. Didn't speak one word of English, and you know, this is the greatest country in the world, because for a kid 6 years old, doesn't speak the language, to come to this country and then become a firefighter, then become the fire chief, then become the city manager, then become a commissioner, then become the mayor, and now become a congressman. Yeah, I don't think you can do it. And it's not because he's not talent or anything. Anybody who puts their mind to it can do that. And this country allows you to have dreams, and this country allows you to fulfill your dreams as long as you put the sweat in it, as you put the work in it. And if you do, then you'll be fine, and you'll be successful. I love this country. I love this town. You know, this is the town I grew up in. I've been here for over 60 years. My kids are here. My grandchildren are here. And the things that I do, why do I do it? What do you do the things you do? Because I love this country and I love this town, and I really want to give back to this country and to this town that has given me so much. And so now I'm in Congress, and people say, hey, you were the mayor, and you know, you used to be able, hey, do that, do this, and you didn't have to, you know, compromise, I guess, with 220 other people, and you were kind of the guy, and now you're one of 200 or 435. But being in Congress is a great honor. There's only 12,000 people that have ever served in Congress. And so, when you think about that, and then again, here's this kid, 6 years old, and speaks the language, and then, you know, able to go to Congress, yeah, well, I can do it, you can do it. As a matter of fact, you should try to do it. Because it is a great honor to serve your country. And so, I serve this country in a number of ways. I serve it as a member of the House, but I serve on 3 committees. I serve on the House Armed Services Committee, I serve on Homeland Security, and I serve on the special or the select committee with our competition with Communist China. And I think these are really, for me, those are the committees that I wanted. I wanted to serve on House Armed Services because I wanted to serve on tactical air and land. And why do I want to serve on tactical air and land? Because I want to protect Homestead Air Force Base. That's why I want to do it. Is key to our defense, I believe, of the United States is the southeasternmost, southernmost Air Force base that we have, and it's in danger of being closed. And so I'm really happy that we got into the appropriations that there won't be any joint use, and Homestead Air Force Base will be open at least till 2026. And what we're trying to do in this appropriations, in 2025 appropriations, is to make sure that there's no joint use, but it also stays open in 2036. And it's given a mission, because the F-16s that are in Homestead Air Force Base today are old. And one of the things that I found as being a member of TAL, being a member of House Armed Services, is that our fighter fleet is in need of replacement, upgrading, and maintenance. Because the other committee I'm on, which is the Select Committee on China, has proven to me that our greatest existential threat to the United States and our security is the Communist Chinese Party. And if you've seen the things that I have and what they are doing, they want to be the #1 economic power in the world by 2049. They also want to be the #1 military power by 2049. And I don't know about you all, but I don't want to live in a world that's dominated. I don't want to leave a world for my children or my grandchildren that is dominated by the Communist Party. And so, we need to do everything in our power to make sure that that doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that it has to be kinetic, that we have to get in some kind of conflict with them. But I'll tell you one thing we do need to do. We need to start decoupling from China. Because every dollar that we send to China, or a Chinese company, by the way, all Chinese companies, they have to report to and are subservient to the government. So if you're dealing with a Chinese company, all the data, anything that they produce, etc., they must share with the Communist Chinese Party. And so every dollar that we send to China is actually going to be used against American interests. And you can see that around the world. You've got China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran. That is what they want to be the new world order. And again, I don't want to live in that world, and I don't want my children or my grandchildren to live in a world that, again, the new world order is dominated by China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran. We have to fight for our freedom. Freedom is not free. Doesn't mean we have to have it kinetically or fight a war, but we have to fight with everything we have to make sure that we remain free and that America remains the beacon of hope for the rest of the world, the beacon of freedom for the rest of the world. And so, yeah, I enjoyed being mayor of Miami-Dade County. And yes, you're right, Commissioner. Your local government, you feel it more every day than what we do in Washington, without a doubt. You know, the traffic light's not working, the garbage isn't picked up, or the park isn't clean. You see that right away. And so we do affect, the local government really does affect your life more than the national government, but the national government protects your security and the ability of you to live in freedom. And so that's why, you know, I'm proud to serve in the U.S. Congress. And as long as I'm there, I'll be there to protect the freedom of the United States and the freedom of your children, of yourselves, your children, and your grandchildren, because that's what I'm doing. Our duty as a generation is to leave a better place for our children and our grandchildren. It's not to leave a better place for us. It's for our children and our grandchildren. I'm a father, I'm a grandfather. They all live here in Miami, in my hometown. This is where I want them to be because I love my family. I love your family too. And that's why I'm going to remain in Congress and I will be fighting for the freedom of you, your children, and your grandchildren and generations to come. Because America is and always will be the greatest nation.